and you know what it is. You know Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego too. This is Paul and Rupert.
We're back!
Coming out with a brand new thought, covered under the blood in which we were born. So we know how to get to.
Is for bold, A is for active, D is for determined. When you consider King David valiantly, you have an idea and understanding for taking this. Stay tuned.
Hallelujah, revive us again.
We are excited to bring fresh commentary, good conversation with two bad men. Boy, you don't want to miss this. Bad Man for Christ. Join us.
Stands for determined, just like Peter when he did his first sermon. As the saying goes, bad men for Christ. That is how we'll be for the rest of our life. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our show because we're stuck in the house with nowhere to go.
Oh, wow! Welcome everybody to season number 2 of the Bad Man Show. With my good friend Overseer Rupert Johnson and yours truly. We welcome you, Overseer. Great our audience one more again.
Hello everybody. Wow, we are back. I'm excited. Season number 2. We had a little hiatus. We had the Mission is Possible crew come on for a couple weeks. They did a great job. Hey, if you have missed those, I would go back to our YouTube page. Please view them. Please check it out. If you're new to Bad Man for Christ, we also got last season in there that you can view and watch with some really great shows. But I'm excited about season number 2. You see, we're wearing our stuff. So we're back, Bishop. So, Bishop, what's going on? How you been? What have you been doing over these last few weeks?
We've been doing very, very good. But before we do that, just want to give a couple shout-outs. Want to shout out to our producers that are assisting us on the show. We want to say thank you to Deacon Albert Minot and Minister Sean Gore. Woo-hoo. We want to thank God for them because they're helping us to make sure we can be on the air. We also want to just give a shout out to our presider, Bishop Monroe R. Saunders Jr. Hey, we just want to say God bless you, Bishop, you and Lady Wynn and the entire organization. We want to give a shout out. Overseer, that's Overseer's mentor. So I just kind of sneaked that one in on him. But Overseer, I've been doing very, very good. Hey, I've been doing good for those last couple months that we were off. Gave me an opportunity. I took one more class towards my MDiv. So I'm taking the last class for my MDiv, Overseer. So we're moving along. Other than that, it was great. How about you?
Man, really good. Well, I was actually helping produce the Mission is Possible show, and I had to jump in a couple times, but it was really fun working with that. And then also, the company that I got into about 1.5 years ago, where we're moving. We're really close to getting our house opened or group home open so we can help some developmental disabled people to live freely, not to live in a psych situation or psych hospital, but can live on their own, doing things just like everybody else where they deserve. So we're excited about that ministry and that work. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
So in general, you're keeping safe, right? How are you making out with the corona and the variants? So
far, so good. I can't complain.
Because I know that you're in that field, you go in and out amongst people. So I trust that you're keeping safe.
Yeah, we are. We're doing a good job. You guys, is there an echo from me? I'm hearing that feedback on my side. Are you hearing that? Oh, it's weird. But yeah, we're doing okay. We're keeping out. But there was no, we get tested every week. We're all vaccinated. We have to be vaccinated. So that thing. So we're doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm still being very careful. In fact, we're still worshiping on the outside. Whenever the weather is good, when it rains, we go inside. And so in general, things are well. Well, Overseer, let's get right down to business. This is the first show of second season, and we are beginning the show with a woman. What's going on, overseer?
Well, the truth of the matter is that we believe it's like heaven. The bad men believe it's like heaven on earth, right? So there is neither male nor female in heaven. It is just people that are spirit of love. So we get excited, but no, but in all truth, really, we are a type of show, and we believe that to be a holistic man, and we believe bad men are holistic men. You've got to sometimes get the ladies' thoughts and opinions so we know how to deal. Too many men are walking in the dark thinking that they know women, and they don't. So here we have the chance to listen to what women think, how they think, and then we can utilize that for our best benefit. Listen up, you single men. Listen up. I'll know what I'm talking about. All right.
Well, I want to say you have heard it right here on the Bad Man Show. On tonight, we are favored to have a wonderful woman that's going to be joining us tonight. Her name is Miss Holly Broadus. You have heard of that last name, Broadus. He has been on the Bad Man Show a couple of times on our first season. And so we would like to bring in to our audience Miss Holly Broadus. And there you are. Thank you all so much. Miss Broadus, please share with our audience a little bit about yourself. You can speak a little bit on the professional side, your personal side, your ministry side, but you take it away. Just a couple of minutes and let us get to know you a little better.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I've been, watching the show, so it's good to be on the other side now. So, as was said, my name is Holly Broadus, and my parents are the lovely Mark Broadus and Anita Broadus.
Anita's wonderful. I'm not so sure about Mark, but Anita's awesome.
I have one younger brother, Malachi, born and raised in Maryland. I love the state of Maryland. Yeah, that's personal, I think. Professional, I am a special education high school teacher. So I teach English to students in grades 9 through 12. I was an education assistant first, and then a long-term substitute, and then I became a full-time teacher. So that's that. I work for the Shepherd Pratt Health System as well. And I am currently working on my Master's of Arts in Teaching with Liberty University.
Okay, right.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So Miss Holly, what got you into teaching then? What moved you? Why did you say growing up, you know what, and it's specialized teaching. So what made you not just go into teaching, but specialized teaching?
Okay. So that is a loaded question. I hope we have some time. When I tell people, so usually, people ask me that, and then they're really surprised when I tell them that education was not my minor or major in undergrad. So I actually majored in marine science, and the track that I took caused me to have to take on a minor. And I chose the professional and youth outreach development minor because I knew I wanted to work with children in some capacity, but I didn't think that teaching would be it. And it's funny, before I graduated and even after I graduated, I tried to obtain jobs working in the field of science, but things never worked out. Even at a pet store, never worked out. But jobs with children always worked out. And it took a friend of mine saying once that, Holly, maybe God is trying to tell you something. And it finally clicked. So after I graduated, I was still trying to obtain jobs in the science field because I knew that I'd be paid more, I'd earn more money. And I remember somebody, I think her name was Miss Harris, who was on last season. She was talking about how educators don't make a lot of money, and she's absolutely correct. So that's something that I had to consider because I knew I had to repay my loans. So my challenge was to take on a position that never seemed to work out for me, but paid a lot, or take on a position that didn't pay as much, but it was what I could tell I was gifted to do. So that was my struggle there. I know I didn't make people happy. I know some people were disappointed in my decision to go through with education, but that's kind of how that happened. I never dreamed of being a special education teacher. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just never thought that that would be my path. It just so happened that, I loved helping children. I loved just supporting them in the educational sector. And I found the job as an education assistant. And that's kind of how that led me to becoming a special education teacher.
So if you're working along with children, how is it, how challenging is it now in this Corona? I don't want to say post-Corona, maybe Corona variant in this era. What kind of challenges are you facing?
Mm-hmm. As of right now, it's a challenge as it, just teaching in general and pairing that with working with the students. So as a teacher, we have to be more creative with your lesson plans. We have to kind of relearn our students in a sense. So we spent all this time, away from them. We were teaching them virtually. So now we have to kind of relearn them. I've heard of stories where children's grades would drop. They maybe, I know I heard one story not too long ago. A student was making straight A's as a senior, but as a result of the pandemic, his grades actually, they plummeted. So we have to kind of see where our students are cognitively now as a result of the pandemic. So that can be a little bit of a challenge for us. I remember my educational director saying that it was okay if we didn't make it through the curriculum. Just as long as we took our time to relearn our students to better assess or reassess their abilities and their challenges and strengths right now. So like I said, being creative with our lesson plans and relearning our students, what they are, what they're still capable of doing and what their current difficulties might be at this time.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got a question. Overseer.
The question's gone. It moved. It moved too quickly.
Okay.
Oh, it says, okay, no male or female in heaven. Please elaborate. Oh, okay. Well, let's bring it to a good standpoint. Thank you, Brother Walsh, for asking that question. Well, we know the Bible says, right, we shall be changed in a moment, a twinkling of an eye. This corruptible shall put on incorruption, this mortal shall put on immortality, right? We know that, we understand that. So that being said, when we get back to heaven, the Bible also says that when you die, you return back to whence you came. Spirit will return back. So we understand spirits are not basically a female or male. That is done in creation. God created a male. He created a female. They weren't there in heaven already. So when we go back to heaven, we're going to go back to the form in which God originally we were, spirits. So there will be no male or female because they were created to come to earth for that specific reason. Amen. Put the gavel down. No needs to be. Oh, Bishop, you want to?
No. It seems like we need to have a special show on that one. We'll make a note of that, Overseer. Yeah. But I want to get back to our host, our guest right now, Miss Holly. I mean, are there any special challenges that comes from the principals in regards to how you do the class work and the changes that is coming as a result of the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. So we had to learn to adapt our assignments to Google Classroom. That was one thing. And as I mentioned, the creativity piece before. So if, one thing that we love to do in the classroom is hands-on projects. And during COVID, we couldn't do that because we weren't with our students in person. So just adapting, our material to kind of fit our students' needs and just to fit our educational environment as it is. Right now, we are transitioned back into the classroom, which is great. So we are able to establish that rapport again, that relationship again with the students. And we still want to, I guess, kind of ease our way back into how we were doing things previously. So I do tend to use a lot of pencil and paper in my lessons. It's just kind of how I'm wired. But I think, as we venture on through the remainder of the year, we can kind of get back into the way we used to do things. But just in general, a lot of hands-on activities to keep the students engaged. So I wouldn't say it's much of a challenge now because we are back into the building. It was more so of a challenge when we were learning virtually.
Okay.
So Holly, tell us, or tell us or speak to us, as you're teaching in the pre-COVID era, and now you've got to teach in this COVID era, and now you're going to have to go teach in the post-COVID era. Mm-hmm. Tell us what the differences we're teaching in those eras right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. So pre-COVID, a lot of hands-on. We were in the building, as I said before, so it was much easier. And then it's also easier to have that relationship with the students. So one thing that I think people don't really realize is that when you are teaching, you're not solely a teacher. So it's great to build that relationship with our students in case they have challenges or struggles that are not academic. So one thing that I have learned, and I'm speaking again as a special education teacher, I'm not sure how things work in the general education sector, but my students have a lot of emotional challenges. So we see a lot of depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, and so on. So they come to us with those challenges as well. So even though we are not a quote unquote therapist because we don't have the licensure, we are still able to provide them with some counsel to an extent. So that's something that we were able to do that was, positive pre-COVID. During COVID, we weren't able to really foster those relationships because we were online. Students were getting tired of meeting with the teacher for 50 minutes. They had several classes, and so they were drained from virtual learning, and so were we. So that was, I think, the main challenge, just being able to, see their emotion, kind of feel their emotion, and then to sort of help them navigate through some of these emotions. And a lot of the times the students had their cameras off. So it was also a challenge because we had students join our school during COVID, and we only saw their face maybe once because they chose not to keep their cameras on. So when they come back into the building, it's like, wait, who are you? We had to ask a few students, wait, who was this? But yes, that's what we're starting to get back into now. So I think when it comes to post-COVID, if prayerfully that we get there, we're just going to try to maybe build upon how we've done things right now as we're starting to get back into the school year, and then just bettering ourselves from there.
All right, just one. I want to jump in just before we get to that question from Brother Walsh. The fear factor. It seems like within your environment, you a little bit have to interface closely with your students.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is COVID virus stuff. Talk to our audience about the fear. I don't want to get into personal stuff with vaccines and all that kinds of, but what fear factors kind of you have to deal with? Get up in the morning. I need to go to, I'm gonna deal with these young my students, and they may be positive, negative. What give us a feel of what you go through mentally each day that you wouldn't have been going through if there was not a coronavirus.
Okay. So I will say personally, I do not deal with that anxiety in the morning. I just know that I am protected. I wear my mask and everything like that. So I personally do not have that anxiety, thank the Lord. But when I'm in this school building, I, have to constantly make sure that I have on my mask, after I finish eating, and I have to make sure that my students have on their masks as well. So, like I said, thankfully, I don't have to deal with that. When I come home, I do, just change my clothes right away. And if I'm visiting maybe a relative or something like that after work, I'll spray myself with Lysol just to make sure I don't, contaminate the environment. But as I said, I personally don't deal with that anxiety. And I'm
wow. Wow, overseer, that is just awesome.
Yeah, but let's say, and so you said that there was a lot of hands-on, and before I know we have a couple questions waiting, but you said there's a lot of hands-on before pre-COVID, which was of course is commendable. We know that's what part of the job of teaching is to help mold the minds of our young people. Now with the videos and things like that, there wasn't really that access to have that hands-on training. Now it's going to be that post-COVID. I'm still kind of concerned because there cannot still be that hands-on because there can't be that closeness. I don't know what age you teach per se, but there is that closeness where sometimes, teachers, hell, I know when I was in school, teachers sometimes held my hand or hugged me, hello and goodbye. That was part of our relationship. So how are you going to deal with that part of it? Because I know in some part of you instinctively, you're going to want to do it. How are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, so I teach the high schoolers, got the big kids. So my students are in grades 9 through 12. So no hand holding, no hand holding.
No hand-holding, okay.
If anything, I'll give you an elbow or a fist tap or something like that. But no, no, no hand holding at all. So yes, I am, excited to see the day where we can do more of hands-on activities. When I say that, I just want to clarify. So I mean, like I said before, the creativity piece is a really big component of teaching. So our students may not, their attention span, like I said, I work with special education students, so their attention span is very short. So you have to really find ways to make sure they're understanding the material and making sure that it's sinking in the amount of time that they're going to allot you. So when I say hands-on activities and creativity, I mean, like I said, I teach English. So perhaps an assessment that I might conduct, maybe something like a Jenga game where I write on the Jenga pieces something that relates to the novel that we're reading. And as the students are playing, they pick up a piece and they have to maybe answer the question that I put on the piece that relates to our novel. So when I say hands-on, that's kind of what I mean, something like that.
Right.
And I am definitely looking forward to getting back into that. Even now I'm thinking in my head, oh, I would love to do Jenga, but I can't do that right now. I'd love to do that. So, I mean, that is definitely a concern. I'm not sure how long this period of time will last, but right now, I'm just mainly focused on the right now, just getting back into the semester and reassessing my students. So I'm sure I'll have a better answer for that question as we delve further into the semester.
Miss Holly, teachers are leaving the profession as a result of COVID. You sound positive. You sound enthusiastic. What can you say to those teachers that are listening to the show on tonight, that will give them some type of encouragement to, if they're leaving, to reassess that decision, or if they're contemplating doing something else? What can you say to them?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. And as I mentioned before, when you're a teacher, you're not solely teaching. I heard someone say once, forgot her name actually, but she did a TED Talk and she said that students don't learn from people they don't like. And I found that to be true. So when you're a teacher, it is very important to make sure that you avail yourself emotionally. Not, you still have to guard your heart, guard your spirit, of course, but you still want to avail yourself emotionally so your students can make that contact with you. So you also have to have a level of patience and level of understanding, especially if you're working in the field of special education, because it's not just about giving students pencil and paper and then say, I'm teaching the material, and then you leave. It's not about that. So if you are thinking of leaving the teaching profession, I just challenge you to test your motives. Was there one thing in particular that you really loved about teaching? Was it creating lessons? Was it building that rapport with your students? What was it that made you first fall in love with teaching? And I know my parents can tell you, and my grandmother, my aunts can tell you, my brother can tell you. I have stories for just about every day after I come home. And there have been days when I'm just like, oh, I can't. But there is still something there. There must be something there because I go back to work every single day. So I would say if it's not teaching the lessons, maybe like I said, it's the fact that you get to help your students navigate through the situations that they're facing outside of school to an extent, because you're not an actual therapist, but you love the idea that your students, they feel comfortable enough to confide in you. Is it that? Are you, do you enjoy creating the lessons for your students? Do you enjoy evoking or incorporating that sense of creativity in your lessons and then seeing how it carries out, how it plays out? Do you enjoy curriculum mapping? So I would say find something, okay? If you are saying, I've given it my all, and my advice to you is not to leave until you feel like you've truly given it your all. And I made up in my mind that there are still things that I want to learn. So I'm not going to give up the profession of teaching. There are things that I can improve upon before I move on. So that is what I would challenge you to do. I had a coworker once who was teaching, but she just did not like it. So if that is you, and you can truly say that you've given it your absolute best, then I'd be more inclined to validate your decision. But
Excellent.
I encourage everyone not to give up too quickly because it seems hard. Teaching is difficult, yes, but just try to find at least one thing that you really enjoy about it, if possible.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Yeah. We got a question. Holly, why marine science? Why not STEM, coding, cloud computing, networking, etc.? Those are all over my pay grade. So you guys are talking. You and Bishop Brown can talk about this. I don't STEM. I don't know what you're talking. Stem cells. Okay, go ahead. Answer, Holly. Why marine science? Why not STEM, coding, cloud computing, networking, etc.?
Okay, so when I was in high school, I just realized that I had a passion for marine science. My initial goal was to earn my degree in marine science or marine biology, I'll say, because I think that can be a little bit confusing. When I was at school, they said there was technically, no marine biology program, so I had to say marine sciences or oceanography. So I want to make sure that's clear. But yes, I just had a love for marine science. My plan was to graduate from college and become a dolphin trainer at SeaWorld.
Wow! All right. Okay.
That was my plan.
There you go.
All right.
But so yes, Mr. Walsh, that was why.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna call you Flipper from now on, just because of the dolphin training. All right.
It didn't work out, but that was the initial plan.
Okay.
But yes, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
That is on.
Dad's asking a question.
That is on.
Hi, Dad.
So dad's like, okay, you need to make money, honey. So Holly, do you think you will return to Rutgers? He's like, you need to become a professor again. Look at Dad trying to put it in there.
Goodness.
Wow. So
I would return to Rutgers, yes, but I am strictly an English person, so English would have to be it. So yes, if Rutgers asked me to come to teach, then I would, but just English, Dad.
Obviously, there must be something going on here that we.
That's what I was thinking. So in the background, we don't know what's happening, but it's there.
Yeah. We got another one.
Here's
our good friend Rollins.
Holly is
Hi,
talking.
Uncle Simon.
Yeah, look at this. Holly is talking about her experience in teaching and doing a great job. We know other factors may be different. Proud of you. Oh, he's just giving you some props.
He's just giving you some props.
Thank you, Uncle Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? Please check Simon Ron's questions before you put them in. Please. we know our goodness.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So here's a question, a little bit off target, Holly, a little bit off target. So you said you do lunch with the kids. So let's talk about what they eat and what you eat. And is it the same?
Okay.
Remember, she's a teacher, no overseer.
Yes, I'm just wondering. They're bringing in peanut butter and jelly, maybe ham and cheese, maybe turkey and Swiss. What do you have in your lunch pail? May I ask? Yeah.
Sure. Actually, we're nut-free school, so we can't have peanut butter, unfortunately.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yes. So I will have anything that may have some rice, some veggies, things like that. As I said before, I started eating a little bit of meat. Again, I'm trying to not do that anymore. You were trying to get me to say that, so I'm trying to get back on my vegetarian lifestyle.
Bishop, see, the day you were away and Mark Broadus filled in with us,
okay,
there was a deep discussion about vegetarian versus us carnivores, and Miss Holly just gave it to us time and time again. So to hear that she broke it and has had some meat just makes my spirit shout hallelujah. Shout glory to God. We're gonna bring her back. She is backslidden, and now we're bringing her back to meat.
Oh my goodness. But I want to say we want to encourage you to like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are really pushing the Bad Man Show for this season. We want to really extend or expand our listening audience. So we are asking that if you watch the show, please like us and please share it with someone else, so that they will have the opportunity to come in and join with the wonderful speakers that we'll be bringing in.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So Holly, so to get back on the teaching question. So what would you say to the government? There's a question here. Holly, I like your dedication. Think you are single. Okay, let's ask this question. Holly, I like your dedication. I think you're single. Do teacher with families have a different view? That's a good question.
Yes.
Because you're single, you might have one view. Do teachers that are with families have kids and they go home and take it to their children, or they have to worry about that? They have different views about worrying about COVID?
Yes, I'm sure they do, because we're around several students throughout the day and our coworkers as well, and everybody has a different viewpoint on the vaccine, getting the vaccine, whether to get it, whether or not to get it, and wearing masks. We've had students who they just don't want to wear the mask all day. Their excuse is, I'm vaccinated, so I don't have to wear it. But I'm pretty sure that some of my coworkers actually do have that concern. I haven't really spoken to anybody about that concern in particular, but I can say that they probably do. I know several of them have children, and some have young children at home who are also going to school as well. So I can, say that I'm sure that they have their concerns as well. But again, I haven't really gone into that conversation with them.
Okay.
So in general, I get the sense that your school is proactive in ensuring that their social distancing and care is taken as they're administering throughout the day. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, we have our students wearing our masks throughout the day, the staff members as well. We just had a training, I think it was last week or the week before, where we were reminded about the importance of making sure that we wear our masks at all times, not when we're eating. When we're outside, we don't have to wear our masks, but we do have to make sure that we just have enough space in between us. We are discouraging our students from playing contact sports. So basketball, unfortunately, in class, we make sure that we have our desks spaced out appropriately as to avoid close contact. And then at the end of each class period, we have our students wipe down their desks before the next group of students come in. So,
are you hearing anything from the parents of your student in particular, of their concerns that they're expressing? Do you have that type of relationship with the parents of your students?
Mm-hmm. So I haven't heard any concerns lately. So we had a parent, meeting with the parents a few months ago, and one concern that I just remember in particular was the amount of staff members that were vaccinated. But other than that, I don't hear any concerns from our parents. I haven't heard any as of recent.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I think that's great. So you have that kind of interaction with both, not only with the students, but also with the parents. And that freedom to actually share back and forth. So the parents are also comfortable of their children in the classroom.
Yes. And if we don't communicate with them as teachers, our administration will, of course. So
okay.
Yes, there's that communication.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me ask you, have you been called into the office for misbehaving in this COVID situation?
No, I have not.
Actually, I would expect the answer to be no. Your dad is listening.
No, I have not.
You didn't expect that one, did you?
No, I did not. I did not.
Okay, I want to transition that a little bit too. And so I was talking to you and I mentioned to you, and of course I know Dad is listening, that I did not know that Elder Broadus had a daughter, because all of our conversations that we have had in the past with children was primarily around sports and soccer, and I'll talk about my son playing soccer, he talk about his son playing. So I just kind of thought that he just had a son. But of course, I mean, me being the National Youth President, you've been a part of this organization all of these years. I just want to publicly apologize. I should have actually known who you were. And of course, so please accept my apologies. I am glad you were able to come on the show so I could at least know you for the first time. And I know Overseer is jealous, but please accept my apology.
So Holly, before we get this question, because I want to get to it, so accept his apology, Holly, but I knew he had a son. He had a daughter and a son, so we're not going to talk about it anymore. I knew Mark, so we're just going to say, I'm just going to say that's it. But before we get to this question, I have a question. Tell me your view about schools being open, children coming in. And I know it's not a question we posted. It might be a little bit, you have to kind of think about it, but really what's happening right now with the spikes going up in different territories. And I know you're interested in one little area, one district of a state, and there's a whole country I'm talking about. But what's your own personal view really about schools opening and the scare that this could cause, a huge impact when it comes to COVID increased numbers?
And before you even answer the question, again, I want you to think about this question, but if you feel uncomfortable, in light of your position in the school, you can tell him, I don't want to answer that question. And I will support you on that. But you're, we know that you're not speaking for the school, and I'm glad Overseer said your view. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I may have some coworkers online, but I will say at least, that there is that level of concern. I think that there were positives to virtual learning and negatives. The positive, it stretched everyone. The teachers and the students. I do think that there were also negatives, as I said, because it was hard to have the interaction, and then the students, it was hard for them to maintain their focus and probably their academic status as well. So I think about the idea of returning to virtual learning, and I think that it'll present some harm as well as good. But like I said, there is some of that nervousness about remaining in the building and the fact that the numbers are going up again. But yeah, I'll give you more information offline. But yes, that's my point for now.
Okay,
appreciate it.
Beautiful. Okay, we can bring that question back in now. So this comes from our good friend, Brother Howell. Holly, has COVID-19 been a problem in your school? So since you're already open, have you guys had any issues?
I will say only one. Only one. But other than that, no. No, thankfully, only one.
Great. Well, that's great.
I mean, but that would sound reasonable, though, because to the level of caution that I hear that she takes, I mean, and I would only say that all the other teachers are doing the same, that would make sense, wiping down and making sure that there's social distancing and making sure that students are wearing masks. I mean, that does make sense. And that was a very good question, Deacon
Howell.
Yeah, Howell. That's an excellent question. Yes.
And we're also doing the contact tracing. So we're trying to get our students back into the habit of signing their names on our list that we have. We have a clipboard outside of our classrooms, outside of every class or outside of every room in the building. So whenever we enter into a room, we write our name, the room number, the time that we enter, and the time that we depart. So we're trying to get back in the habit of doing that as well.
Overseer, I believe that we had an excellent guest tonight, rather. I mean, well-spoken, very articulate, and it was a great privilege and an honor of ours, for you to make the commitment to come on the Bad Man Show with two bad men. We're excited. We just really appreciate you. It's the first show of the season, as you know as well, and now you can tell all your friends that you've been on the Bad Man Show with Overseer Rupert and myself.
Well, we got a couple minutes. Let me get another question. We have her on the show now. She's also a young person.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
She's also in the church. And I want to see her view on the how churches are handling this, because you see from a different perspective. You see it from a government perspective. This is how the government school system is handling it. Do you think, and I'm not talking about your church, I'm just talking about churches in general. Do you think churches are handling this COVID situation in a good way? Or do you think that maybe we should look at how schools are doing it? Because there's some things that schools do that the churches don't do.
I would say that we have to just, I think, assess that, based on each church, look at what's been taking place at each church. I know each congregation is different. So I think, thank you for saying, in general, but I think, every church is doing something different from the next, different from the next, different from the next. So I say just go based on the data that you have so far, and then to continue on from there. I know everybody has a different opinion on that. Thankfully, I haven't heard of anybody contracting COVID after reopening the church. I know that some churches are still meeting virtually, and some have services, but you have to RSVP for, in order to attend. And I know that some churches may require masks and some do not. But I do think that it is still wise to encourage your members to wear masks, and then to also do the contact tracing as well. I think some churches might have also taken temperatures when, churches first reopened. I'm not sure if many churches have gotten away from that, but if you see that people in your congregation are starting to become ill, again, I think you need to reassess whether or not you should return back to having your services virtually. But I think that's on a church by church basis.
I want to go way off, overseer. Just allow me. I want to go way off.
Okay.
And ask Miss Broadus, how do you think COVID-19 is affecting single women and dating?
Whoa, you are going way off. Mark, don't listen, Mark. Mark, do not listen. Mark, don't listen to her answer. Go ahead, Holly. Answer the question.
That's okay. Well, I that is a tough one. Actually.
Oh my goodness. You can think about it. You don't have to. Okay. We'll get you back on the show to answer that one.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yo, I want to hear you answer this one. Wow, this is a good one.
I can't. Okay.
All the single women are listening.
That is a challenge for me to answer, just because I am not in that arena. So I am not, I'm not dating or anything like that. So I can't really give you input. Okay. I haven't pursued dating. At this time, I'm focusing on myself, my relationship with God, and I'll say that is a challenge, though. People all around you dating, and it's like, no. I said no. I need to take a step back and work on a few things before I make myself available to be pursued. But I think some people might do online dating. I haven't really talked to many friends about it, so I don't know.
Allow me to share this one point, since you're not in that arena. The text, the text, when I say the text, the Bible, it says, the man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So in this period of time, become that wife and you will be found. How do you like that, overseer?
I said preach. I said preach. But I liked her answer too. Her answer was so politically correct. I'm not in that arena right now. I'm focusing on my. Oh, Daddy was proud.
Yeah.
Yes. Focus on the career. Yes. Oh, good answer. Beautiful.
Well, beautiful.
Fine, Holly. When it's just us in the green room again, we're gonna have another answer to that question. And we're gonna.
No, you really won't, because my dad and I talked about that not too long ago, and I told him the same thing. And I think one thing that I had to learn to do was not make a relationship an idol.
Okay.
So I had to make sure that, and I'll be honest and say that's been a struggle. Being single all my life, that has been a struggle. So, like I said, seeing what other people are doing, and it's like, God, wait. But I had to take that step back and really make sure that everything in my heart was positioned correctly. So I told my dad the same thing.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your honesty.
Hold on.
Your integrity.
Bishop, let us clap the Broadus parents. That is the way to raise I'm gonna clap them right now. That is the way to raise a daughter. Amen. That is the way. She's not saying it's not a struggle. She said it is a struggle, but I am focused. We need young people, especially our young ladies, to hear something like that. I commend you, Holly. That's an awesome answer. I am proud of you. I give you a spiritual virtual high five. Boom. There you go. That was awesome. All right, Bishop. Go ahead.
We thank you. We're out of time, and we have had a wonderful guest. You have been tremendous. We love your answers. We appreciate you coming on, and we definitely will have you back sometime in the future.
Yes, please.
And again, thank you so much. And to our guests, we want to say thank you so much for being a part of the first show of the second season. And we want you to continue spread the word about the Bad Man Show. Overseer.
Wait. Check it out.
Lady Win.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You got a thumbs up from Lady Win. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you're amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, beautiful.
Hey,
beautiful.
Hey, Bishop, we just moved up. The lady was watching our show. I don't know if Holly told her,
I did.
See that? Oh my goodness. We just jumped up a level. Wow. We just
well, with that, Overseer, take us out.
Okay, well, everybody, thank God for joining us. To our special guest, Sister Holly Broadus, we thank you so much. So coming from me, Overseer Rupert Johnson, and my partner, Bishop Paul Brown, we say thank you. See you next week, 7:15. Be there. God bless everybody.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Stick around.
Us again. To the A, to the D, to the M. So sing hallelujah, revive us again. To the A, to the D, to the M. So sing hallelujah, revive us again. To the A, to the D, to the M. Like a fever, represent Jesus. To the A, to the D, to the M. To the E, to the M.